Commanders training camp is in full swing, and I've got 4 overreactions that I'm going to share with you guys today and give you my thoughts on. But before I do that, go ahead and start today's video by clicking that thumbs up icon. It's a free and easy way to help us grow here at the Commanders Report. So if you click that thumbs up icon right now, I'll be really, really appreciative of that. Now let's get to that first overreaction for the day today, which is that Chase Young will be a top 5 edge rusher in the National Football League this season. Now, to me, I think this might be just a slight overreaction. It's not a full overreaction, just a slight one, because I do think Chase Young is going to have a very impressive 2023 campaign. He is absolutely lighting it up at practice right now, and I think he could probably get into that top 10 conversation. And is it completely ridiculous that he could really have a breakout season and become a top 5 guy this year? It's not absolutely crazy, but to kind of go into the season with that expectation, I think it's just a little bit of an overreaction. Now, with that being said, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Chase Young. It seems like everything that he has put in over the last 2 years to get himself ready for this comeback season is starting to pay off. People are saying he's looking like the best defensive player on the Commanders roster right now, and that's saying something when you got guys like Cameron Curl and Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen and Montez Sweat, and you're looking like the best of the bunch. That's saying a lot if you're Chase Young right now, and I think he's going to have a breakout season this year, get into that top 10 conversation, and earn a massive contract for himself here with the Washington Commanders for many years to come, and I cannot wait to see what he looks like here in 2023. Now, let me know what you guys think about Chase Young down there in the comments section. Will he ever be a top 5 NFL edge rusher? Do you believe in Chase Young? Give me a yes or give me a no down there in the comments. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time when the time comes by giving me a yes or no down there in the comments section. Now, my second overreaction here is that the Commanders will have the best defense in the National Football League this season. I've been seeing this a lot on Commanders Twitter lately, and just like the Chase Young one here, I think this one might be just a little bit, a slight overreaction. I do think this defense is going to be really, really good. It was good last year, and they've only gotten better, adding guys like Jartavius Martin and Emmanuel Forbes to the secondary, adding guys like Cody Barton to the linebacker room. Of course, Chase Young, you're going to have him for a full season, hopefully fully healthy this year. So the defense should be even better than it was last year. And I do think they're a top 5 unit going into the league, especially if they can stay healthy. But to go into the year 100% confident that they're going to be number 1 in the entire world on that side of the football with all these things that happen, the uncontrollables, the injuries, all these different things that can happen during the course of a season. I do believe in this team. I think it's going to be potentially a top 3 unit in this league, but it might be just a slight overreaction to expect number 1 type production from this unit in 2023, although it is certainly possible. Now, I got a couple more overreactions to go over on today's video, but before I go over those, go ahead and check out our friends at Fanatics, where they've got a great combo of Commanders t-shirts for you guys on their website. The energy around this franchise has never been higher with Josh Harris, the new owner, coming in. Magic Johnson, a minority owner. It's a really fun time to be a Commanders fan. So if you want to get in on the funding, you need to restock on your Commanders gear. Go ahead and go to chatsports.com/Commanders combo to get this awesome pair of t-shirts in your closet today. Then my third overreaction for the Washington Commanders through training camp so far is that Ron Rivera is going to get fired before the end of the 2023 season and possibly even replaced by new offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. Now, to me, this is kind of reasonable, okay? So you look at the tough schedule that the Commanders have this year. The offensive line wasn't built to the liking of many people in Commanders spaces. And right now, the offense is straight up looking bad, okay? At today's practice, on Friday's practice, the defense absolutely dominated. Howell was continuously put under pressure, and it was the offense's worst day of practice to this point. And with the offense looking this bad in training camp to this point, and the reports coming out pretty much every single day, the only times that the first-team offense has looked good to this point has been A, when there's a clean pocket for Howell, and B, if they're going up against the second-team defense. On Thursday, it was their best day. Every single rep was taken against the second-team defense. So whenever they face the Commanders' defense, this first-team offense is not getting the job done. And the thing is, the Commanders have multiple teams on their schedule with really good defenses. Right away with the Denver Broncos on the road in week 2. You got the Patriots on the road as well. You've got some really good defenses on this schedule. The Eagles twice. I mean, how are you going to be able to adjust if you can't score on good defenses in this league? It's definitely a big question mark, and if Ron Rivera and Eric Bieniemy can't get this offense going, I could totally see Ron Rivera getting fired in the middle of this season. But let me know what you guys think about Ron Rivera, the head coach, right now in the comments section. What's your confidence level in Rivera to this point in his tenure with the Washington Commanders? Put it on a scale of 1 to 10 for me down there in the comments section. I can't wait to see how you're feeling about the Commanders head coach. And for me, I'm going to give him a 6. Now, I think that you can definitely make an argument that in some of the years that he's been here, he's overperformed. I mean, just last season, man, he almost got this team to the postseason with a bad O-line, bad quarterback play, injuries galore on the roster, and this team was still scratching and clawing their way into playoff contention, and they just missed the playoffs last year. So I think that Ron Rivera is a good leader. I think that he can get guys to really perform well, can get them to buy into his system and to his culture. But right now, plain simply, he hasn't had a double-digit win season with the Commanders yet, and I think that this is going to be the year with new ownership coming in. He needs to make the playoffs this year or he's gone. It really is that plain and simple for me. Then my final overreaction to go over today is that the Commanders' offensive line, speaking of the offense, might single-handedly derail the 2023 season for this team. And for me, I think this is 100% reasonable. This is the weakest link on the Commanders roster right now. I've been saying it for weeks. It seems like I talk about it at least 3 or 4 times a week at this point on the channel, but that's because it is that big of a concern. Okay, you got Charles Leno Jr. and Andrew Wiley, who I think are fine, right? They're solid starters in the National Football League, but those are your best guys on the offensive line right now, in my opinion. Sam Cosmi is a question mark, being a 6'7" guard, doesn't have the leverage advantage, but I like the skill set. I like the physicality, so I'm really interested to see how Sam does on the interior this year. But then Nick Gates, somebody that's dealt with a ton of injuries in his career, Sadiq Charles and Chris Paul, I don't trust either one of those guys to play left guard. I really want the Commanders to add like a Ben Jones or maybe a Dalton Reisner to this group to help solidify it and protect Sam Howell and create some running lanes, for God's sakes, for Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, and Chris Rodriguez Jr. this year. But it just doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, at least on paper. This might be the least talented group in the league, and that affects your run game, that affects your passing offense as well. And I'm just not sure that with an offensive line this bad, that's going to be enough for Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy to have enough success to get this team to the playoffs. That is my biggest fear heading into the 2023 season. Now, before I go here, I do have some injury updates from practice today for your Commanders, starting with first-round rookie Emmanuel Forbes. A little bit of a scare today as he tweaked his groin at practice this morning. But he says it's nothing. He says it's fine. He had a little bit of an ice pack on there, and he says that he's going to be good to go here. It's a very minor injury. And then starting tight end Logan Thomas is dealing with a minor calf strain, did not practice today. It's mostly just a precautionary measure here. He's going to be just fine. It's a minor injury as well, so nothing too much to worry about there. And then also Cody Barton, starting linebacker here on the inside, did not practice on Friday. With a hip flexor issue, another preventative measure from head coach Ron Rivera to keep him out of practice. And then Curtis Hodges is dealing with a hamstring issue right now, and we don't really know the severity of that hamstring issue. If you know anything about hamstring injuries, they can linger for quite a while, so hopefully Curtis is fine and can get back on the practice field here very, very soon. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. Make sure you click that subscribe button for me if you want extensive Commanders coverage throughout training camp, throughout the preseason, all the way leading up to week 1 for that week 1 matchup at home at FedEx Field against the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to have you covered throughout the entirety of the 2023 season, so do me a favor, click that subscribe button right now.